games that are originally exclusive to handhelds like DS, 3DS, PSP, PS Vita, whatever, should, under very few exceptions, be ported on consoles because of the limitations like not having a second analog stick or not enough buttons or something or whatever. Because I just started playing this. I finally started playing Resident Evil Revelations, the PS3 version. And I liked it at first because it brought back a lot of the things, a lot of the horror elements, survival elements of the very early Resident Evils, pre-Resident Evil 4. Um, but then a couple hours went along and I started to see um, a lot of really bad problems with the gameplay, like the aiming and the evading being very unresponsive. Um, I mean, it only works like whenever it wants to. And I'm at this point where I'm like 3 hours in, and I only have one herb left, and it's normal difficulty. Of course, normal has to be too hard. And I'm trying to kill this zombie, this really fast zombie that keeps on knocking me down, and I have no fighting chance against it at all. I mean, am I supposed to like restart the entire game on casual? And then what? What happens if I reach that point then and it ends up being too hard because it requires a core game mechanic that doesn't even fucking work? Okay? I give up. I was gonna review this game and I had a lot of really funny ideas like skits and stuff on how to make it more interesting. I'm very disappointed because I don't even want to touch the fucking game anymore. I mean, I've played all types of games, both in genre and in quality. I've played very wide, very wide range of video games. I played a couple sports games, a lot of racing games, fighting games, RPGs, action, stealth, whatever. I've played it all basically. I played everything. I've also played very bad games, and I've also played some of the greatest games of all time. And I should know more than anyone else the quality of gameplay. Gameplay is the absolute most important core aspect of video games. Okay? I could care less if the game has a good story. Okay? If the gameplay of a game is broken or just doesn't belong on consoles, I'm not playing it. I'm not finishing it. Um, because I can't take this abuse anymore. I'm being knocked all over the place, knocked down, and the evade button just doesn't work. Like forward and X or whatever it is, or forward and A on the 360. I just and another thing, you run slow as fuck. I mean, you run like about as slow as the Gears of War characters. Only they have a logical explanation because the characters in Gears of War wear really heavy armor and they're huge. When was the last time you've seen big guys run fast? Big guys can't run fast. Kind of like wearing heavy armor in Dark Souls. You can't run that fast because you're wearing heavy fucking armor. Jill Valentine, she's a girl. She's tiny. She has, she doesn't have that much on her. And why is she running so slow? Why can't she sprint? Okay, I've actually found Resident Evil 6, despite all the hate and flame that game gets, I actually enjoy Resident Evil 6 more than Revelations. The only thing Revelations seems to get right are the camera angles and a lot of the stuff that it brought back that made the series so great in the first place, like ammo consumption, item boxes, stuff like that. Um, uh, I just I just can't take it. I'm quite frankly right now I'm at a loss of words because I'm sick and tired of playing games that are so cheaply made, and the developers seem to like make games these days hard just for the sake of being hard. Okay, it doesn't matter if it's cheap. It, 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 I'll play a game that's hard so long as it's my fault if I die. This is why I play Dark Souls or Demon Souls. When I die, it's my fault, not because a game mechanic is broken and I can't do a required move. I oh god. I'm so disappointed. I thought they could, at least improve some of it from there's a lot of stuff I really liked about it too. I liked how they well I liked how they made it so that you don't need to aim with your knife in order to slash things, and basically it's just R1 and you automatically knife. You just you just poke with your knife. You no longer have to aim with your knife. I like that. I just I just don't think it's fun at all. I think it's atrocious. I think the gameplay is a mess. I don't care if it has one of the better Resident Evil stories. The fact of the matter is, I can't fucking play it. Okay? If I wanted to know what happens, I'm just gonna look it up on the internet. I'm not gonna discover a great story in awful shit gameplay. That's not how I roll. Okay? I gameplay is the most important aspect about video games. And this has a lot of issues. I can understand this being a good game on the 3DS, but it's crap on the console. Alright, I mean, the thing is, I've never considered myself a Resident Evil fan. I've always played them, or at least, a few years back. But, I've always had gripes with these games in gameplay. I've always liked their stories, but even in like Resident Evil 4, there's always been a part of the gameplay that I've had a big gripe with, and I'm just sick of it. As far as I'm concerned, Resident Evil is dead to me. I've had enough. If I want to find out about the universe of Resident Evil or the story, I will read it online. I'm not gonna go through crappy gameplay to experience a good story. It's either it's either none or both of good story and gameplay, not bad gameplay and good story. I'd actually rather have bad story and good gameplay. I'm so disappointed. Capcom, do us a favor, improve your games, because you always seem like, with the exception of like Street Fighter, you guys always make it seem like you want to be one step behind with other AAA titles. It's simple. You know what? I have a really simple solution for the evade. Instead of doing forward and X at the exact perfect pinpoint time, seriously, like I hardly even get to evade. Instead of doing that, why not just have a roll button? Or a QTE, like a little tiny QTE. That's it. That's all you would have needed. But you make things so complicated and you tend to overthink things. That there's a reason why Resident Evil fans are slowly dying off. Okay? Now, Resident Evil 4 is considered one of the greatest games of all time, one of the most important games of the 21st century, yeah. And as far as standalone status, yeah, it's a great game with the best gameplay. But by doing what you did with RE4, you changed the formula of Resident Evil for the worse, and you made it into action. Resident Evil Revelations, it's more horror themed, but it still feels like I'm playing a crappy Resident Evil action game. It's just, you know what? Just forget it. Forget it. I'm done. I'm fucking done. They keep on trying new things, and like they fail all the time. Like I've never seen like Capcom fail more within like a 2-year span than any other developer. Period. Not even EA or like Ubisoft. Like like get back on the right track. The next time you make a game that's exclusive to a handheld, don't port it on console. They hardly ever work. There are very few exceptions, like maybe like the 2 Siphon filters, or like Silent Hill Origins, or like Grand Theft Auto Liberty City Stories. This didn't work. I liked it at first, until I came across a point of the game of the campaign that required me to really evade if I didn't have that many healing items left, and the evade button doesn't work. The evade action is so randomized, it's almost like dumb luck based. And that's where I decided that I'm done. I'm not gonna get frustrated over something that I have no control over. It's not like I'm stuck in a game like Dark Souls where I have to improve myself. No, it's the other way around with RE Revelations. I don't have to improve. The game has to improve. I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm pressing analog stick X at, at every moment I have experimented with an enemy trying to attack me. And it hardly ever works. Most of the time, believe it or not, it will happen when I'm not trying to evade. My character will evade when I'm not even trying. But whenever I do try, it doesn't happen. I'm done. I don't care if these games have good stories. I don't care if the universe is interesting. Because it seems like the only people who can tolerate this game are people who have grown up with Resident Evil and have this nostalgic thing going on, and or in denial that the Resident Evil series are kind of falling off the track and going all over the place and trying to be like all the other games that come out today. I'm done. Fucking A.